Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today for another fluid art creation. So I've got 5 colours, I've got my canvas ready and prepped. I'm using a 24 by 12 inch canvas. The colours I'll show you in a second, and I'm going to list everything in the description box below. So if you expand that button, it lists lots of information like the paint brands that I use, my ratios and so much more. So be sure to check that out as well. I'm really excited for this. I'm always excited when I'm exploring my own creativity and sharing that with you. So thank you for being here today. So let's see what we can create. So here are the colours that I'm using. You can see I'm using 3 different brands. I've got 3 by Royal Talens Amsterdam, and I've got the titanium white, I've got the Van Dyke brown, and I've got the bluish grey light. So they're my 3 Amsterdam colours. I'm using DecoArt's pewter. I absolutely love this colour, and I'm going to use this in a few more creations, so keep a lookout for this colour popping up. And good old faithful Pebio's iridescent copper. I absolutely love this as a iridescent metallic by Pebio. So there are my colours, 3 by Amsterdam, 1 by DecoArt, 1 by Pebio. And I'm going to take you in now to see the consistencies, and then I'll talk about the technique I'm going to do. So I have all my paints mixed up. I've actually used this colour palette in another creation. I don't know whether I've released it yet online, so I film a few paintings all at once. So I don't want to spoil it just in case I've not shown you that one yet. But you can see here I've got all my colours mixed up. I'm using a pouring medium and water. I'll list everything in the description box, but just in case you can't check that out, I'm using Otrol's Floetrol as my pouring medium. That's the paint conditioner. And I'm also using water along with these paints. I'm using the ratio of 1 part paint, 1 part water, 3 parts pouring medium. So that's my kind of ratios that I'm using for this. You'll see that it trickles off of the spatula, leaves a slight trace before it disappears. So that's the consistency that I'm going to use. So I'm going to get on with the creation, and I'll talk about the technique as I go. So I'm going to use my split cup, and I'm going to use 3 colours in this split cup. It's got 3 compartments. So I'm going to pour 1 colour in each compartment, and then I'm going to literally pour the paint from the split cup onto the canvas. I'm then going to take the 4th colour, and I'm literally going to drizzle the paint over the top of the paint that's already placed on the surface area of the canvas. It's just to add another colour and another element to this piece. And then I'm going to take the white, and the white will go around the outer edge. Of course, that's going to be more paint and more volume for me to be able to stretch out the paint that's in the middle of the canvas. But it's also going to act as a bit of a flow extender as well, to help that paint that's already there flow across. I have seen a couple of lumps in my paint. I did leave my paints to stand overnight, and the temperatures are quite warm here at the moment, so I will need to pick a couple of those lumps out before I continue. But good practice would be to strain that paint again so you don't have any lumps at all. I'm using my torch just to pop any air bubbles, and then I'm using my smaller palette knife and dipping it into my cell activator. My cell activator is black paint mixed with Australian Floetrol. 1 part paint, 4 parts Floetrol. And I've decided that I just want to add a little bit more detail to this. So I'm dipping the palette knife into the cell activator and just doing a few swipes across the colours as you see here. Just doing random swipes, and I'll probably do 4 to 6 swipes on this piece, and then I will stretch out the paint. Remember, when I'm swiping, I don't add any pressure. I just allow the palette knife to touch the paint that's already there, and then I just gently glide it across that surface area where I want those cells and that lacing to form. And I'm just going to expand that just a little bit more, just over here. Clean my palette knife off, and then I'm just going to dip my palette knife into the colours and just do a few swirls. A little bit how I would normally do with the marble. It's just dragging some of those colours and paints into one, but creating a really interesting pattern. And then that pattern will open up when I expand the paint across that surface area, when I tilt it from side to side. So I've placed the colour on the surface. I have used my palette knife and the cell activator to create some cells, and I've used my palette knife to do some swirls. So now it's about opening up the pattern and the design, and that's by stretching it out and picking up the canvas, tilting it from side to side, and allowing that paint to cover the full surface area and the sides of the canvas. I probably say it every time, but for me, this really is about immersing myself into that process, Be in no rush to finish and just take your time tilting until you're happy with the composition. I'm happy with this final result, so this is of course the wet version. I'll take you in for a closer look at the wet version. I will leave this to dry and then I'll show you the dry version afterwards. So here we go, fully dry. The colours haven't changed much at all. I'll show you some of those details where the palette knife has helped swirl some of those colours. There's some block colour as well, and also some detail used when I did the swipe to create that cell and lacing effect. I really love the balance of this piece as well, and just the colour palette is one that I haven't really used before, so I'm definitely going to be doing some more experimenting with colour palettes and what other colours I can use to create this type of vibe. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to have you along with me on this journey, and thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you have a great week, whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing with your creativity. I hope you're having fun, and I hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care everyone, have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye.